Welcome to Hobby Clubhouse for the review of the Bandai SD Gundam World Heroes Sergeant Verde Buster Gundam. This kit is one of 3 models released in the first wave of the new SD Gundam World Heroes line, along with the Wukong Impulse Gundam and the Nobunaga Gundam Epyon. And you know what? As I was making this video, Bandai has already announced that they're releasing an exo armor with the cannons that we see in episode 1, along with a flight unit that we'll no doubt see pretty soon in the show. And they're also releasing the Verde Buster grunt units as well, so if this kit isn't enough for you, there's way more to look forward to. The Sergeant Verde is a rare police-themed Gundam which shares a lot of elements with a much older character, the Gunpla, which is also a police officer and he also rode on a motorcycle. But with or without that connection to the past, I think a lot of people will want to get the Sergeant here because police-themed toys are just generally really popular. But let's get right down to business. The Sergeant Verde Buster Gundam was released on April 9th, 2021 for a price of 660 yen. The box art is a CG render by SK Yoshinobu, who's done a lot of artwork for Pokemon cards and video games. The box comes in at 15 by 20.5 by 7 cm, so it's like a standard Sangokuden kit. The side of the box shows the accessories that we get inside the box, and it suggests that we get a Trinity bike to go with the Sergeant, which of course is sold separately. The other side has a plug to remind you to check out the show online, and then it's all legal text. Inside the box, we get the Sergeant spread across 7 runners, with the face part done in its own white runner and a few clear red pieces. And now I want to take a moment to talk about why Bandai would be this generous here and give us these runners even though it's just a few small pieces. And the answer is right here, where I have the white runners of the Sergeant together with the Wukong and Nobunaga. And look at that. They actually form one big runner. This is somewhat unique to the kits currently made in a Chinese factory, but Bandai makes these kits 3 at a time on the same mold, likely to make production more efficient. It's a neat little bit of knowledge that I thought I'd share here with you guys. Then we also get a sheet of foil stickers with a long blue one here for the visor slit, and a big emblem for the badge on the forehead, then 3 white rectangles for the middle of the face. This small gold detail goes on the front of the chest. Then, this long gold one for the inner liner of the chest, along with these 2 other gold ones for the sides. These 2 golden details go onto the corner of the shoulders. And then these 2 big ones are for the inner layer of the shoulder. These white bars are for the bottom of the front skirts. And then we have more golden stickers for the inner part of the front skirt. These golden stickers are for the inner layer of the knees. This blue sticker is for the light on the right knee. And then this long golden one is for the rim of the top of the pistol. For the instructions, we get some background information on the Sergeant here at the front. And then we get the same studio shots here at the back as we did on the box. And then we have a 2-page comic as all BB Senshi kits have. And pausing a second to look at this first panel here, this big Gundam head in Neo World is actually an old SD Gundam kit. That right there is the General Gundam, a giant Gundam that transforms into a battleship, and it was one of the biggest kits of its time. It really is a nice treat for old fans like me. And the black and white side is all for assembly instructions. So a bit under 40 minutes later, we have the Sergeant here without any stickers applied yet, and he doesn't look that good without them. It's a shame that he looks like a big black lump here, even though he actually has both black and dark blue, but they both look so similar that the color separation is actually quite wasted. The clear red kinda helps out, but yeah, you won't want him looking just like this, so let's fix that. With the stickers applied, the Sergeant looks much more like we expect them to. The layered armor with all its cutaway windows are designed to work with the stickers, so the Sergeant depends on stickers much more than the other releases in this wave. But what's good is that he doesn't suffer from as many ugly wraparound stickers that Wukong and Nobunaga have. There's still a few stickers like this one on the chest right here, and these small ones on the shoulders that use black lines to represent the details that they cover, and those are never good. But the other ones, like the badge on the head, gives us a lot of needed color detail, and it is a good trade-off for covering the sculpt underneath. I kinda wish the blue on the visor and the knee was done in clear blue plastic, but Bandai no doubt wants to keep down the cost of the kit as low as possible. And a word of caution here is that there are a lot of very small stickers here, so you're gonna want a pair of tweezers, otherwise it's gonna be a very frustrating time for you to place all these tiny stickers onto them. But overall, the kit does need its stickers, and the stickers don't come with too many big drawbacks unlike the other kits released this time, so that's good. Now let's have a look at the big pistol, the X Magnum LB, which can be stowed on his waist, which is an important detail to have for any police-themed character. It comes off without too much difficulty, and the peg that is used to attach to the waist is small and unintrusive. The gun itself is big and boxy, and it looks like it can do a lot of damage even though it is a handgun. In the hands, it goes past the knuckles a little bit, which gives it a powerful, punchy impression. Sure, the gun doesn't do much other than being a gun in the hand, but I think it inspires a lot of stories and young fans will enjoy playing with the Sergeant with this weapon that's ready for action. Next we have these giant front skirts which actually hold the two handles here that can be removed. It's easier to do it if you pull off the entire front skirt to do this, and together they make the Justice Lock, which are handcuffs because what police motif would be complete without them? They connect at the middle with only a little bit of friction, but the two ends stay together just well enough that they won't fall apart by themselves, and it lets you angle them side to side as well. Each half opens up, though the hinge here is pretty tight. The skinny end here fits through Sergeant's hand, and you can have him holding it like this. I think the Sergeant needs this, and I think a lot of people will be happy to have this because this isn't just a gun or a sword or a shield that we always get, but an accessory with a function that adds to the theme here, so I approve. But you know what? That's actually all we get in the box. On the front skirt we have this baton, but it's fixed there and you can't take it out. It'll be a part of the upcoming expansion set, which is a little disappointing. Compared to the Wukong here at the same price, which gives us 2 transformations, I can't help but feel that the Sergeant doesn't nearly match up. There's one more function, but for that you're gonna need the Trinity bike. And here I have a blue one that came with 00, so it's gonna look a little bit out of place, but sadly it is the only one I have. To mount the bike, you'll need to remove the back skirt, and then you'll need to remove the Justice Locks as well. The front skirt actually gets in the way quite a bit, so it is a good idea to leave it off for now and then put it back on a little later. The back piece here plugs into the back for extra stability. And without handles, it can look a little strange, though that's not a new problem with the Trinity bike. And at first I thought, hey, we can use the Justice Lock as handles, right? That should be quite cool. Nah, they rattle around and they're all loose in the hands, so we can't use it unfortunately. But here's a look at what it would look like, but I cheated here with a bit of blue tack, which you can do as well if you like. Given how the Sergeant doesn't have much out of the box, I think a Trinity bike is something you should seriously consider. If you have a black one, it's gonna look much better than this strange little mashup I have here, and with the stickers applied, it's gonna look even better. Now onto the articulation. From the top, the head can't look up because of the shape of the back of the head. It does look down a little bit, and it turns a full circle if you angle the head a little to give it clearance. The shoulders swing outwards a little bit. The arms can be adjusted on their ball joint, as can the entire arm from the bicep. The arm can swing a full circle without problem, but here there's no elbow joint unfortunately. The hand can be adjusted on its ball joint, and it can rotate around a full circle. The waist bends forward this much, and it goes back this much. The waist can rotate until it hits the baton at the front, and it can rotate the other way until it hits these pouches on the other side. The legs kick up just a little before hitting the front skirt, and then they go backwards a little bit as well. They swing outwards this much. The knees give us an impressive bend, but you're probably going to have to remove the leg to have access to them. The ankle armor can be adjusted a little bit, and the feet can be adjusted on their ball joint. Much like the Wukong, the Sergeant here is on par with Sangokuden style SD Gundam releases, and there aren't any glaring issues or improvements over the other ones. For size comparisons, here's the Sergeant next to the SD Cross Silhouette RX-78. And then, here's the BB Senshi Zacto. The SD Gundam World kits are pretty tall, but they're also rather slender, and you're gonna notice it especially with their smaller heads. But they don't look out of place when you display them together with all your other SD kits on a shelf. With all that said, here's a Hobby Clubhouse 3-point verdict on the SD Gundam World Heroes Sergeant Verde Buster Gundam. Number 1. It's a police-themed Gundam. It's sadly a rare thing to have, and it's one that many people will be excited to buy. We get a lot of knights and samurai and historical Chinese warriors, but we don't often get much else, which is why many people are intrigued by SD Gundam World Heroes, and like a police officer, it is on top of many people's wish lists. It's the sort of thing that only makes sense in an SD Gundam's world, and it gives us rich context for a lot of story and a lot of play. And number 2, extra purchases are required. Because what you get in the box is nice and well, but the potential of the kit is locked away in other kits. You need a Trinity bike, lest you ask the Sergeant to run everywhere he needs to go, and you're gonna want the upcoming expansion set for the giant cannons to make up for his lack of firepower. And you're gonna want the Verde Buster Grunt members to go with him as a leader. It's sad to say, but by himself, the Sergeant will leave you wanting more. And number 3, it has an unfortunate color choice. I have to say again how much of a shame it is that you can't easily tell the blue from the black. The kit isn't uncolorful, but it does look that way and it feels cheaper than it really is. But that does open the door for builders who can give this kit a better color scheme and show off all the details. All the cutout windows on the layered armor will no doubt be interesting to work with, and I sure hope more builders will be inspired to make the Sergeant their next project. So that's the review for the Sergeant Verde Buster Gundam. Something with a lot of potential, but you only get a fraction of it in this box alone. Thank you so much for watching. Come look us up on social media with updates on upcoming videos and sneak peeks at future projects. Links are in the description below. Or hang out here some more and watch the reviews of the other SD Gundam World kits. But before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos from Hobby Clubhouse, and I'll see you next time.